Rhode Island's cottage food laws. So, can you legally sell food from home in Rhode Island? Well, the answer is yes, but it comes with a handful of setbacks and drawbacks. Rhode Island does not have the best of the best when it comes to cottage food laws. I'm actually going to give you a rundown of everything you need to kind of know about it and give you some resources down below this video you can also check as well. But all in all, in comparison to a lot of other cottage foods laws in the country, it is pretty restrictive as to the amount of food you can sell and what food you can sell. So let's dive right into it. Of course, hit that subscribe button if you are brand new to cottage food laws. If you live in Rhode Island, this channel will be dedicated to nothing but home-based entrepreneurship and helping you market, promote, and find places to sell your products. So definitely hit the subscribe button and follow us each week. All right, so in 2022, Rhode Island actually passed a bill becoming one of the additional states that allow people to sell foods from home. Now, the only thing about that is that this law actually allows anyone to actually can sell foods from home. You don't necessarily have to be in the farming industry of some kind, but it's known as a cottage food manufacturer, and the cost to actually is $65 a year to have this permit. Unlike other states, believe it or not, there's a lot of states that do not charge you for having a permit or even need a permit, but Rhode Island does. Now, the other thing is that Rhode Island also limits up to $50,000 a year in sales. So that means whatever it is that you end up selling from the list that you can sell from, even though you're actually considered a manufacturer of food products, you can only sell up to $50,000 a year. Now, let's dive right into where you can sell. So local events, state fairs, festivals, those types of public events, those things are fine. You can sell through. Also, roadside stands are allowed as well. You can sell from home. You can also sell at farmers markets, and believe it or not, you can sell online. But the one thing about selling online is that you can ship it actually within the state, but you cannot ship it interstate sales, meaning from one state to the next. Now, you can offer home pickup, by the way. If you are selling the product from home, if you're comfortable with strangers or customers actually coming to your house to pick it up, you can have home pickup, you can do mail order, or you can do delivery. Like I said, delivery would be fine. Only thing is that you have to deliver it directly to the customer. You can't use a delivery service, like Uber Eats or something like that. That is not allowed, unfortunately, yet, but hopefully it will one day. Now, some of the prohibited venues and areas that you can't is retail stores. That would be considered a third-party seller. Restaurants, or even wholesale. So also retail stores would be considered grocery stores. So if you have a great product and you're manufacturing or making it from home in the state of Rhode Island, you can't necessarily sell it to a local grocery store for them to turn around and sell it to a customer within their store. So keep that in mind as well. And as I said, wholesale is something that you can't do just yet. And again, hopefully you can. Believe it or not, there's not very few states in the United States under cottage foods laws that actually allow you to do wholesale, because you really need to be in a commercial kitchen or a larger setting for that. All right. Now, I'm going to go over a list. Now, this is a handful of products. Now, from time to time, it does change periodically, but this will give you a good idea of what you can sell. The list of what you can sell is pretty small compared to the list of what you can't sell. So number one, let's go into it. You've got wedding cakes. You can do a variety of cakes, cupcakes, rolls, cake pops, breads, macarons, sweetbreads. You can do muffins and biscuits, cookies, brownies. Now, one other really quick side note, okay? All these things that I'm listing, you can come up with a ton of variations of these, okay? So don't think it's limited by the amount of items I'm about to tell you, because each one of these, you're talking about like wedding cakes or even cakes. You can customize cakes all day long, and you can have hundreds, if not thousands of versions of cakes. Cookies and brownies and such, muffins and biscuits, exactly the same. So you take the idea of the particular product and you can go and run with it, and you can have a variety of flavor profiles. Cookies obviously are endless. You can make all kinds of cookies. Brownies, the same thing. Cake pops, the same thing. You can bagels. There's literally hundreds of variations of these, okay? So don't feel limited as to, I can only do, there's like about a dozen or so items. Well, from those dozen items, you can make a ton of stuff. And plus, you can, by the way, make all of these. These are allowed, so it doesn't mean you got to focus on cupcakes. If you like to make wedding cakes, if you like to bake, you like to do brownies or cookies, muffins, you can go ahead and create a variety of those. Danishes, pastries, but keep in mind the pastries can't be a refrigerated, time or temperature sensitive. So what does that mean, Damien? Well, like a pastry that's got cheese, like a cheese Danish that has cheese on top, that has to be kept at a certain temperature, or meat filled or cheese filled. Pies you can do as well, crackers, pretzels, and granola. Now, here's a rundown. Again, not all inclusive, but this is a good understanding of the prohibited foods. These are items you can't make. Things like perishable baked goods. So that would be similar to what I had mentioned just before. Honey, pickles, salsa, candies, oils, which would be like infused olive oils and specialty oils, herbs, spices, marshmallows, tortillas, chocolates, acidified foods, other preserves and marmalades, mixes, popcorns, extracts, sauces, nut butters, vinegars, pasta, nuts and seeds, meat jerkies, fermented foods, and the list has a handful of other ones. So you can kind of get an idea. Unfortunately, it's very limited. Now, the sales, as I mentioned before, up to $50,000 a year. You want to keep track of your receipts. By the way, if you're going to operate this, really quick side note, it's not required, but you should get yourself an insurance policy, a food business insurance, an LLC, and you need to protect yourself because having a business at home selling food, there is a potential that somebody could get sick and could sue you, or a lawsuit could happen. If you don't have any of those LLCs or food business insurance, you personally will be held liable, and you can get sued for everything you have, potentially. You don't want to run that risk. Now, keep in mind some of the things that you're kind of limited to. You can't necessarily do interstate sales. As I mentioned, you can't ship or sell your product over state lines. Make sure that pets are not in the area where you're actually producing the product. Sales limit is something that you need to keep an eye on because if you exceed that, when it comes to tax time, you may end up having some type of penalties involved with that. Direct sales only, meaning that you got to go directly to the customer, so you can't sell it to a third party. Now, before you register, you got to take one of these approved food safety courses. That would be something like Learn to Serve, Food Handling Course, Serve Safe. They offer these courses. They're about $8 or so. It takes about 2, 3, 4 hours, I believe, somewhere around there. Between $8 to $10 cost. Also, Cottage Red Food registration, you got to fill out an application form. You got to sign a notarized affidavit in compliance. You got to complete some other requirements listed within that specific affidavit section. You had to verify your Social Security or your EIN. EIN is your employer identification number. You also, of course, got to pay your $65 fee. So, and when you register, you also have to attach labels to your products that have a specific quote on them stating that it is made in a cottage food business that is not registered. Specifically, actually, you have to also have on your label allergens. Make sure you have your proper allergens listed, which would be like milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, wheat, and soy. Your business address, this would not be a P.O. box. This would actually be your home address where you're producing the product from in Rhode Island. Your business name. So again, the business name would be like if it was Sarah's Cookie Company, it would be Sarah's Cookie Company on the label. Ingredients, you want to make sure all of the ingredients that are in that product are listed from greater to least used. And again, I always use an example like for cakes. For instance, flour would be the biggest ingredient, so you put that first. A phone number, yes, you have to have a phone number on there for the residents as well. And then lastly, a statement that basically encompasses made in a cottage food business registry that is not subject to routine food inspection. So something like that is what you would need to actually have on there to ensure that you're following your guidelines. Now, you must have also all your recipes available in your kitchen by review and the inspector having to come in and check it. That's something you have. You also use a commercial kitchen card. You must maintain the record of the dates that you produced in it. So you want to make sure that you've got all that. So all in all, Rhode Island doesn't necessarily have to be business friendly, I guess you could say. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. But $50,000 is not bad, but there's quite a few other states that have actually no sales limits or even $100,000 to $200,000. And the list of what you can make is really restricted and limited. So if you have any questions about this, let us know down in the comments, and I'll see you on our next video.